Hey, it's Tpok. I am back in Katawa Shoujo, and I am in the scene called Bread, Scissors, Paper, or something. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that would be a rock, but I guess that's the pun, that the bread is hard as a rock, maybe, I don't know. Things have returned to normal. Well, I transferred in at a pretty unusual time, and I can hardly say that I had a normal first few weeks here. I guess it's more like things have calmed down and reached normality. I've been here longer than I thought. It's hard not to think about all the stuff I must have missed in this school before my arrival, or the things that might have happened in my old school since I've been gone. I wonder where these feelings come from, since I didn't leave much behind. I have a lot more here than I like. If it wasn't the case, then I wouldn't even bother with something like the student council or Shizune and Misha. I would be hard pressed to care about anything if this school was how I imagined it would be. So even this feeling of daily routine makes me glad in a way. I dread the amount of work that's going to hit me in the student council after school, enough to want to consider stepping out on my duties just this once, yet it's nice to feel like there's something I can do. Shizune drops a stack of attendance sheets next to me. Thanks again for helping out. Thanks again, Hee-chan. Sure is a lot of work, though. I had to skip out on sign language class again, but now I'm at a level where I can understand most of Shizune and Misha's conversations with each other, so I'm not too bothered by it. Still, Shizune still doesn't know that, though. I'm determined to keep things that way until I'm very sure of my skills. Perhaps it's a little childish of me. Tanabata is in less than 5 days, but they're only going to start building the stalls tomorrow. Hee-chan, we might have to help out with building stalls again starting tomorrow. Why? What was the point of taking them apart then? That took days, didn't it? Yep, that's right. Even though Hee-chan wasn't there for it. It would have helped out if you asked. Voice crack. It wouldn't have made sense to bore you with cleanup duty after you enjoyed the festival so much. It wouldn't have made sense to bore you with making you clean up right after the festival. It would have ruined the fun. Besides, Hee-chan is lazy anyway. You would have tried to run away again. Shi-chan doesn't like playing foxhound. That stings. Shizune covers her mouth with her hand and starts shaking. It takes me a second to realize that she's laughing, mostly because she's doing it so completely soundlessly. It's a little strange to see, but more or less the same good-spirited kind as Misha's, without being eardrum piercing. That's a good question though, Hee-chan. Huh? Stalls. It's a storage issue. The school doesn't have anywhere to store so many stalls, since each one is pretty large. They won't pay outside storage either, so this is what they decided on. It's inefficient but cheaper. Because the school doesn't have anywhere to store that many stalls, Hee-chan. Oh yeah, they do, but they don't want to pay. Sorry, Shi-chan. It's because of the previous generation. The leadership decided that outside storage costs had risen too much, and the student council before us was too weak-willed to tell them that it's stupid to build and disassemble 60 stalls twice every year. Okay. Hee-chan, let's eat something. It feels like we've been working all day. We have. Now that I think about it, I am hungry. I would have had lunch, but it was really crowded today for some reason, so I decided it wasn't worth the trouble. It was like that today because they had some especially interesting things on sale on the side. Like what? No, don't tell me. I guess it doesn't matter since I won't be able to eat them anyway. Shizune looks oddly pleased with herself. I wonder what the context of that could be. I prepared ahead of time for this. Beaming with self-satisfaction, she produces a wide assortment of food from her bag. I can immediately see that 90% of it or more was taken from the lunchroom. There's a lot as well. Isn't there a limit on how much a person can buy? That means these gains are definitely ill-gotten. The veal cutlet bread is always sold out in the first minute of lunch. I'm impressed you managed to obtain one. Thank you. I reach for it quickly, but Shizune immediately makes a grab for it as well. Her hand goes slack for a second when it touches mine, but she immediately pushes forth with redoubled effort, that blazing competitive spirit flashing dangerously in her eyes. Her fingers pry at mine, searching for an opening. I don't budge an inch, prepared to fight for this bread with my life. I might never have had another chance to eat this. I'm fully aware that if we continue like this, we could crush the bread, greatly reducing its edibility. Misha, tell her that unless she lets go, the bread is going to be crushed. Why can't you do it yourself? I'm startled that she can so nonchalantly let slip that I can communicate with Shizune just fine if I wanted to. I almost consider the possibility it was intentional, but I'm sure she was just distracted by trying to tear the wrapper off a juice box straw. Isn't it obvious I can't let go of the bread? I can't tell Shichan that then. She puts her palms up to the sky and shrugs, a wide grin on her face. Why not? Because you have a stake in this, so I can't trust you. If Shichan wants to reply, she has to let go of the bread, and then you would. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's what you want, Hichan. It wouldn't be fair, so I'm going to be neutral, like Switzerland. Switzerland. Do you know about Switzerland? Of course I do. It's neutral. They're neutral. Shizune stares at me cockily, the tip of her tongue sticking out slightly from between her teeth as she continues to tug firmly at the veal cutlet bread between us. Suddenly, she lets go and holds her hands up, palms facing outwards, the universal gesture of peace. This seems like a poor way to settle this, doesn't it? And we might crush the bread. She glares, and her passive expression quickly plummets into a disapproving grimace. Hichan, drop the bread. We are negotiating now. I drop the bread reluctantly. Misha's hand darts from the side, her fingers drumming across the table as it makes its way over. Don't mind me. I don't even really like veal, so I'll just take this sandwich right here. And something to drink too. Picking them up cautiously, she immediately retreats. She has the right idea. I could just pick something else. There are lots of delicious things here. The chicken katsudon bread is also a popular seller, ranking high in taste and demand, but I've already eaten one before. You're so immature, Hisao. This wouldn't be a problem if you would pick something else. The chicken katsudon bread is delicious. You're so immature, Hichan. Why don't you pick the chicken katsudon bread instead? It's delicious. But I've already eaten that. Hichan, why are you so obsessed with eating the veal cutlet bread specifically? It's hard to get normally. Rare things are more delicious. You are acting like a child. You're acting like a kid, Hichan. Why don't you eat the chicken bread? That's not important. Turning bright red, she smiles cunningly and continues. There's no reasoning with you, so it looks like the only way to settle this, we're going to have to play for it. That doesn't matter. We'll play for it instead. Somehow I expected this. It's the logical conclusion. Shizune has been studying for a long time, pretty much continuously up until now. With our finals over, I guess that surplus energy has to go somewhere. Play what? The oldest game known to man. I started reading in Misha's voice. Upon which the fate of nations has been known to rest. Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, it's bread, because we're... got it. We're playing for bread. We'll play rock, paper, scissors. Really? That sounds so serious, Shichan. There's no humor in her expression. She is dead set on this. Okay. She draws her hand back, and I mirror her. Go. We both put out rock, a draw. I thought I had the perfect plan. Rock is unbeatable. No, it's not. No, it's not. Paper beats rock. Shizune frowns, deeply upset by this unexpected turn of events. Not as planned? Again. 2 papers. Damn. Again. We both throw out 2 rocks again, but the third hand among us is representing scissors. This looks like fun. Can I play? It's a duel, Shichan. Dueling contact? You're right. I really don't know. The faster she signs, the harder it is to follow. In fact, it looks like even Misha is having trouble keeping up. What's she talking about? One more time. We tie again, every time Shizune demands a rematch, eventually skipping that step altogether and throwing rock, paper, or scissors out with increasingly reckless abandon. Even playing completely randomly, we continue to tie. This is a mathematical long shot. Misha hovers above us, watching it all and laughing each time we draw. After 16 rounds, Shizune pushes her chair away from the table and stands up. Enough of this, Hichan. I see what I have been doing wrong. This will all be over in the next round, so brace yourself, okay? Okay. I have studied your thought processes, and I see how you play. I am anticipating your next move and will combat it expertly. This is all news to me, as I can't remember what we were doing this over. Shizune grins confidently, a look of fearless daring on her face. Her cool eyes flash with pure competitive spirit as she draws her hand back, goading me wordlessly to do the same. Her form is amazing, like a professional bowler or something, just to throw a hand motion. 2 papers. Shizune's body immediately goes slack, and she rubs her temple with a look of exasperation on her face, as she lets out a sigh so long it sounds like a tire deflating. I realize I've gotten a lot hungry in the time we've been doing this. We can just split it. I break the bread in half and offer one half of it to Shizune. She takes it. Thank you. She looks at the bread in her hand, studying it. But this feels hollow somehow. Regardless of how she feels, she still eats it. All of a sudden, I see Misha observing the scene out of the corner of my eye. Hichan, that was very romantic, I think. Oh, come on. Wow. She laughs and takes a bite of her second sandwich. We eat in silence for a while, Shizune and I managing to avoid any other contests, and then we go back to work. And it's evening. As I finish up the day's usual filing, I think to myself that this might be Shizune's way of trying to start the week on a high note. After all, tomorrow is when the real work will begin, and with her hands literally full building stalls, she won't be able to talk very much. It will likely be pretty dull and tiring, like it was the first time around. I'm appreciative of her effort in that case. It's nice to have days like this as a way of enjoying yourself before the days ahead. I think that was her idea as well. I also remember that I still have to get rid of Kenji's package. Oh, you still have it? Okay. The damn thing is bulky, and somehow I've never been able to track him down since I picked it up. After student council is adjourned for the day, I walk towards the vending machines to look for something to drink, parting from Shizune and Misha. It's a short trip, but after even just a few seconds, I start to get the feeling I'm not alone. A pair of hands cover my eyes. Guess who? Shizune? What? It's me, Hichan. Yeah, I know. Then why did you say it was Shichan? It's okay to be wrong sometimes. Hichan, you're too proud. Anyway, after student council, you don't usually have any plans, right? So you're just going straight to your dorm? Where else would I go? Okay, that's great, Hichan. I wanted to talk to you today, so this works out perfectly. 2 high school students, alone after classes in a quiet, empty building. As the sun dies... that kind of dies. I was like, what? It dyes the sky a romantic amber color. The cute girl says she wants to talk. What a secretive and appealing situation. My imagination is buzzing. It's likely not going to be anywhere near as exciting as I'm making it out to be, but it's fun to play it up that way. The popping sound of my canned coffee opening destroys any chance of maintaining such a cheesy mood, sounding louder than I have ever thought imaginable, amplified by the context of the situation. A sigh in disappointment and relief. So, what is it? Oh, actually, I'm a little behind in some of my classes, and if I don't catch up, it could be a problem. I can't put it off any longer. My teachers say that I have to really start taking things seriously, so I should listen, especially because this is the 3rd time. I'm sorry, Hichan. Why are you apologizing? I won't be able to help you or Shichan with the student council for a few days. It'll only be for 2 or 3 days, really. I'll definitely try and come back as soon as possible, but I can't say I'm happy about this. Oh, I skipped for some reason. It's supposed to be getting really busy this week too, isn't it? That's some unfortunate timing. For a second I want to ask if maybe Shizune could pull some strings to get her out of it. But Misha looks so genuinely apologetic about it. It would be pretty dickish of me to say something like that. Besides, if she says it's something that can't be put off any longer, I am inclined to believe her, considering how surprisingly serious she can be with student council duties. Yeah, I see. It's okay. You managed with just Shizune and yourself last year, didn't you? So I'm sure I'll be able to as well. Don't worry about it. Really? Thank you, Hee-chan. Really? Yay, yay. I didn't know Hee-chan would take it so well. I thought you would be worried, with how there's going to be so much work, with Tanabata coming up and everything. Damn, she knows me oddly well. But Hee-chan is so composed. I'm glad. Huh, yeah, you're sort of right. I was thinking about it, but it's not that big a deal. I'm not going to freak out over that. It's going to be a little annoying passing that pad back and forth to talk to Shizune, though. Hee-chan, just tell Shi-chan you can use sign language too. I don't understand why you won't. Not yet. I can understand most things already, but I want to be really sure. Actually, I wouldn't mind. The secrecy is killing me too, and it would be nice to be able to talk to her in a real conversation. Don't worry, I'm going to have to tell her eventually. I want to. Actually, I'm trying to think of a good opportunity for it. That won't be a problem, Hee-chan. Why not? Well, because I kind of told Shi-chan that you could understand her. She was worried about the same thing, that you wouldn't be able to understand each other. So, I was worried, but it worked out fine in the end after all. I lose it. Do you know how stupid I look now? I sat there for like half the damn day acting like I couldn't read sign language, and are you seriously telling me that she knew the whole time that I could? She was probably thinking, this guy is a complete jackass, pretending he can't understand me. I just made a total ass of myself. How could you let me do this? Misha frowned, seeming lost for words on realizing that I'm taking this differently than she might have expected. She doesn't speak again until after seeing that I've calmed down. But, Hee-chan, I think this is definitely for the best, she says without batting an eye, having waited patiently throughout my panic to say it. The cheerful delivery of her words makes it seem like she sliced out the time between when she dropped the bomb on me and now. It's pretty funny in a way. You have such a one-track mind. You know that? You know that? Yes! The damage is done. If Misha can believe that things will work out in such an unflinching surety, then maybe it's worth giving it a chance. And if things don't work out, I'll run as fast as I possibly can to try and make it up to me anyway. Just in case she offers to buy me another drink from the vending machine. It's a very small token of apology, but I suppose it's the thought that counts, and her thoughts are sincere. Plus, it's a free drink, so I accept it. Oh, I just recently saw the Hisao, Johnny Bravo, Master of Love, or whatever it's called. Like, little stories. Those are hilarious. Look them up. Just look, Hisao Nakai, Master of Love, or something like that. Those, it's basically like how Hisao can get all the girls, but then he does a Johnny Bravo thing and messes it up. Yeah, pretty funny. I throw back my daily fistful of pills with a glass of water. After a solid 8 hours of sleep, I don't really know what I was so afraid of last night. As I chew a particularly large tablet in half, I continued to rationalize my worries away. Shizune knew that I was taking sign language classes all day yesterday and didn't make a big deal out of it. She might be mute, but that doesn't mean she can't make her feelings known. No, in fact, it seems like she's all the more direct for it. She doesn't beat around the bush or hold back. She always makes herself clear unapologetically, so there can be no mistakes. So if she wasn't mad then, it's unlikely she would be at all. And on top of that, I didn't do anything wrong anyway. But as if that fear of mine recedes, the thought of spending a couple days with Shizune without Misha takes its place. I hadn't really thought about it yesterday, but the idea becomes more and more intimidating. It's true I can understand sign language pretty well, but I would definitely hesitate to say that I understand it above a basic level. And if she were to speed up her signing, which she does quite a bit, I don't think I could keep up. Signing, too, is not my strong suit. Doing both at the same time like Misha can is still a distant dream. Hee-chan. What? Don't forget you said you would help out with building stalls today. Behind the school after classes are over, okay? I know. Last time you helped out, Hee-chan, we really appreciated it. This time it's even more important, so skipping out is unforgivable, okay? I want to ask why that is, but there isn't any opportunity to. Besides, Misha is behind in her classes, so it seems like a bad idea to distract her now that I know that. I can always ask her at lunch, which is what I end up doing. Because, Hee-chan, a festival that celebrates a town is exactly what it sounds like. It's to celebrate your home and its history. Tanabata is different. It's for wishes and lovers. That definitely makes it more important, doesn't it? Yeah, naturally it would be. Is that really what it's for, though? Hee-chan, you have no sense of fun. She puffs out her cheeks in displeasure before blowing the air out like a deflating balloon. You have to appreciate things like that, even if it's just an excuse to eat interesting things and dress up in the end. I'll be disappointed in you if you don't, okay? Before I can say anything, she turns to the side to inhale a croquet. What? What is that word? I read it as croquet. Like the game. And I don't think you inhale that. Oh, have I seen this before? I think I have. After classes, I meet Shizune behind the school, where it seems she already set everything up sometime yesterday. She greets me with a short wave, and then, with the flourish of the hammer already in her hand, extends her arm towards the stalls behind her. Some of them already half completed, others still haphazard piles of board bundled together with string. As time passes, I realize the pills can only do so much. I still get way more tired than should be normal. Luckily, Shizune's back is to me, so I can afford to take a lot of breaks without having to worry about her wondering why. When I stop to think about it, though, I start to feel pretty guilty for taking advantage of her inability to hear that my hammer stopped banging. It's a terrible thing to be happy about. Her work ethic is admirable. It's obvious that it bores her, and even annoys her, but she doesn't slacken her pace. When she gets tired nailing a stall together with one arm, she switches to the other. Shizune. I feel like an idiot the second I say her name. I can't tell what I think. There's a hammer in my hand as well, and in the end I feel like I have to keep up with her. I can't slack off either, especially when it's just the two of us. There's no time to sign, no opportunity, not even for a compliment for a job well done. Even something as casual as that would require me to put my hammer down, get her attention, and then sign it to her. A simple gesture turned into something so needlessly complex, like a single footstep taken on a road that's longer than first imagined. I've known her long enough to know this, and still forgot it. The air is filled with the rhythmic knocking of nails being driven into wood. It's actually kind of nice after a while. To pass the monotony of the task at hand, I try to match my hammering to Shizune's. And yawn, excuse me. Then alternate it to try and form a beat. Of course she doesn't notice. It makes me wonder, does the lack of sound make this work seem more drawn out and boring to her? Is it strange being unable to hear the results of her actions, even as she feels the vibrations through her fingers? Or having no concept of sound, does it bother her at all? Distracted, I don't notice Shizune sneaking up on me until her head pops into view. Taking a break? Yeah, I guess. Okay, let's do that. You can understand sign language. That makes it more convenient for both of us, even though you hid it from me. Why? Why what? Why did you decide to take sign language? Her eyes don't break from mine, even for a second. If she needs to read my response, her peripheral vision is good enough. Once she has something in her gaze, she doesn't look away. It's strange how piercing her eyes can be, dark as a lake at night. Because I wanted to. It seemed it would come in handy, and it did, didn't it? Yes. Sorry, didn't catch any of that. See, this kind of thing still comes up now and then. I wish Misha was here. She has work to make up for, doesn't she? That might be partly my fault. Misha doesn't need supplemental lessons. Her grades aren't the best, but she understands how the decisions she makes affects others. That puts her ahead of many people. Especially certain blondes. Lily. She doesn't forget things easily. Your sign language is very good. You're learning oddly fast. I've been taking classes for a while now, and it's kind of easy to pick up after a while, through immersion or osmosis or that kind of thing. It's not too bad. You can say osmosis in sign language? Dude, you are not struggling. You're not on a basic level. And if I'm really stuck, Misha's there too. I guess I spoke too soon. I didn't understand any of that. Time to backpedal. Well, yeah, it's not actually that easy. It's hard as hell. I'm trying to pick up broken glass. But I guess in some ways it's interesting as well. Like an adventure. Well, no. Picking up broken glass is not an adventure. Sure it is. It's just as challenging. If you use a dustpan and broom, it's not. I feel frustrated and sad. Well, Hisao, you can feel frustrated and sad next time, because I'm going to end it here, guys. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time.